to another episode of CLX Foundry Live. Wow, you know what's really fun is I can hear myself because I didn't mute this stream because I'm special. Hello, everyone, because we know that's how it's all pronounced now. I'm DJ BluePDX, your host here, along with our lead technical expert. It's Paul Steffens, and back from his vacation on none other than Omicron. It's Hayden Hutchinson. How are you, Hayden? You had an incredible adventure on some place that was not 21.
Yeah.
There we go. Awesome. So we've got so much to do today. First of all, thank you all so much for being here in droves. This is incredible. First, we want to say thank you. We understand there was a problem with Twitch yesterday. Apparently it had a heart attack, and we just kind of rolled the punches and we're able to come in today. And so many of you are joining us today, which is great. We're going to talk about not only the winner of our CLX Raw giveaway, but we're going to talk about the new one that we're building today. And you're going to get more codes, not only for the Horus build, but also for the Hawthorne build, which we'll talk about that in a few minutes. Right now, I'm going to hand it over to these guys. Gentlemen, what are we building?
Alrighty, so today we've got a Horus giveaway. We're going to be showcasing one of our new print jobs on the 011 Dynamic here. So we'll start out, I'll just briefly go over the parts and we'll start showing the board and getting everything installed. So this is a Ryzen 9 5900X build with an RTX 3070, 32 gigs of RAM. We'll get a little bit deeper into those as we go and get them on camera here. But I'm going to give Hayden the motherboard first. You can start unboxing it and getting it ready, and we'll go from there.
Slowly. Start slowly.
Yeah, start slowly.
Anybody who's ever noticed that Hayden has a tendency to be the most proficient and efficient builder ever, and then we can't talk fast enough. I mean, you'd think that I can talk fast enough, but I actually can't. It's hilarious. There we go.
So yeah, we're getting the motherboard out here. The motherboard will come with a lot of accessories here. We'll send the ones we won't use along to whoever wins the system. And yeah.
Awesome. So this, by the way, is live right now. The giveaway started already, and it's going to be going through the 31st of... Wait, hold on. 30 days past September, April, June, and November. So yeah, no, it's 31 days. So January 31st, it's for rhyme, and if you're not old enough to remember it, well, you probably still have hair. Sorry. There we go. Yes, 31st of January is when this giveaway ends. If you want into it, you can just jump on the link that's in chat right now. We're also going to be giving away codes for this throughout the month. I'll be giving codes away on my stream as well throughout the month. 100 entries per code. We're going to make sure that you have every opportunity to get as many entries in for your giveaway. And a little bit later in the show, we're going to talk a little bit about the incredible winner who just got the CLX Raw giveaway, our first winner of these giveaway series, which is incredible. But first, let's talk about what's going into this custom-designed Horus PC. So we've got a Ryzen 9 5900X, 3.7 gigahertz, 12-core processor. Paul, what is this processor? How big is this thing? What does it do?
Yeah, so this is a really high-end processor. Obviously, it's a Ryzen 9, top of the line here. It is a 12-core 24-thread processor. Its base speed is 3.7 and it will boost up to 4.8. So that is a really good high boost on there. That's on all cores if it can. It can kind of adjust as it needed. So right now you've seen Hayden has already got the 1 terabyte M.2 drive going into this. You can see that on my finger there. He's taken off the brackets that come on the board for the air cooler, and now he's installing our processor right there. There's a couple arrows you want to make sure match. Pretty easy to install though. Guess we'll go with the RAM next. So this is going to have 2 sticks of G.SKILL Trident Z Neo RGB. Each stick is 16 gigs with a speed of 3600. So total of 32 gigs on this. Plenty of RAM. I actually just upgraded my system, so I have 32 gigs now. But yeah, it's a lot.
I will say, having recently jumped mine up to 32, it's a significant improvement.
Yeah,
unfortunately, the 32 that I was gifted was a lower frequency, so all of my frequencies had to come down. But I have 32 at a slightly lower frequency as opposed to 16 at a higher frequency, and it actually worked out really, really well. One thing to mention, if you in chat have any questions you'd like to ask either of these incredible professional gentlemen, you are more than welcome to type them in. I will get to them as quickly as possible, whether it has to do with this build, previous builds, or your build. If you got questions about general equipment and advice, please feel free to pop it in the chat. We will get to as many as possible as we can. So, Hayden, Master Speed Builder here. Guy who works faster
Yep, so
than the speed
he's
of
got
sound.
his AIO going on right now. This does have a
Already.
360 CLX Quench cooler. So he's got the mounting hardware on there, screwing down that cap. On top of that 1 terabyte M.2 drive, this also does have a 1 terabyte 3.5-inch Seagate storage drive. So you'll have 2 terabytes of storage on this system.
Good grief. That's
And
awesome.
once he gets that down, we'll show off the case. This print design is beautiful. So.
It is wicked. I'm going to be honest. It's, again, amazing. And Kratos does such an incredible job. Kyle's so talented when it comes to this stuff. But first, let's talk about what Hayden's screwing things onto and why he's shoving large metal objects downward into a table. It's an X570 Phantom Gaming 4 motherboard. This is by none other than our friends over at ASRock. You can find out more about them at ASRock.com. It is kind of a revolutionary board, and it kind of transforms your PC. Let's talk about some of the features on this board. Paul, tell us about the heat sinks and what we've got.
Yeah, so we really like this board. We've used this board on a ton of our systems. It does come with a non-Wi-Fi and a Wi-Fi version. This one does have built-in Wi-Fi, so you'll have all that, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth. We've got a nice stack of a heat shield right there on some of our surface mount components. The ridges are cut into there for air to flow through to help cool it. And then it's also got a fan on the south bridge to help cool that as well.
Nice.
So cool. And actually for this board, we will have to plug in our antennas as well, so that'll be fun.
Oh, nice.
That's all.
Just a gamer tag asks, what liquid are you using for this build? And it's a 360 AIO, right? Mm-hmm. One of the full 360.
Yeah, it's our CLX Quench one. Yep, 360.
Yeah. Yep. So it's an all-in-one. Actually, since we're covering that question, why don't we talk about that?
Yeah. So
the
let me grab actually
regular.
And regular cooler. I brought one up here today. So typically on this board, there was some clips around the CPU socket for the air cooler to mount into. This is what an air cooler is. This is a small one. This is more for Ryzen 3, Ryzen 5. But it's just a brick of metal, essentially. Sometimes it'll be copper. Sometimes it's only aluminum. Sometimes it's got thermal paste on it. But the heat from the CPU just soaks into here, and this fan will spin and take it away. Now, these are fine for a lot of configs, but using a liquid cooler is going to allow our processor to boost up more and more frequently. So having a 360 is huge. We'll have plenty of cooling. We'll be able to stay boosted a lot of the time.
G-Stats over here ruining things. Next thing is to know is to tell my children that there's no Santa. Congratulations. What's even weirder?
Oh, man.
So there we go. All right.
Right, I'm going to cut these ties on these fans, and I think I'll bring up the case.
Oh, I'm excited for this. Wait until everybody sees it. Nightclaws in the house. Welcome. We got we got 73 people in here right now. Trolls Rock.
Awesome.
Anita Eleanor. You know, Loco, I don't know how to pronounce that, and I feel like if I do, I'm violating TOS, so I'm just going to call you Loco. How about that? Ray J in the house. How fast can these two make a build? Okay, I'm going to be honest. We're having to slow Hayden down. Really, like Hayden will, if Hayden had his own way, he would be able to build the system probably in 35 to 40 minutes. Even when we've had to slow him down in the past, we've been lucky if we can get him to last to 50. So right now we're being very, hey, you know, no coffee for you and no energy drinks for the previous 3 days. That's how we're doing. They're incredible. They're an incredible team. They do well. Look at this build. This is the brand new CLX Horus build, and man, this is an I'm going to say this because I'm a fan of them. This is an optic gaming dream right here. Definitely got the greens, so many different greens out. And if you have a green screen and you're using chroma key, this is going to look even more impressive on your stream. It's going to be wicked. Look at this. Everything's painted. Everything's painted, man.
Yeah, this thing is beautiful. I love, we've obviously, if you've been watching the streams in the past, you've seen us have quite a few new designs and color variations, and everyone looks so good.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit. We usually go with the O11, like the O11 Extremes, which is the Leon Lee's, for the full size for the RAWs. This is the shorter version of the O11 by Leon Lee. So let's talk a little bit about some of the advantages, some of the features, and how this is going to affect this build.
Yeah, so this is a dynamic Evo. So this is still a full ATX, but it is a little bit smaller than those XLs that we built in the past.
Okay.
Still, like I said, can still fit a full ATX build. We're still going to cram 10 fans in here. But there's just a little different designs. Like you can see us taking out screws on these panels. On the XL, those aren't there. They just kind of lock in still. But really, the biggest difference here is just the size. This one does not have the hot swappable bays, which we like in the XL.
Oh.
But yeah, this is a little, like, it's basically just a smaller config.
But it still looks like, and just for me, from looking at that design, it still looks like the motherboard is not sitting completely on the back. There is a space in behind. What is that space used for?
Yeah, so our power supply and mechanical drives will mount back here. So I'll try to just
perfect. It's just not hot swappable
here. Right, yep. So our power supply will go here on the bottom, separate from our motherboard, and then our mechanical drives are here. You can see, since it is a shorter one, we will have enough space for 2 drives here, whereas the XL does have 4 since it's taller. But we still looks pretty much the same from the back. This cable management panel is a little different, but you know, same concept. Most of our wires will be in that middle section.
Absolutely incredible.
And then for the fan mount on the top, this actually comes out kind of like the XL does. So a few little differences, but just a smaller square essentially.
Everybody's talking about the CLX neon lights. The back are fire. Yes. Sometimes they can also be affected by the remote controls, which is hilarious. So yes, everybody, welcome and Happy New Year to all of you. One real quick question about the performance of that case, Paul. How many USB cables and what ports do we have built into the case itself?
Yeah, so for this motherboard, we've got 2, 4, 6. Yeah, 6 USBs and then a couple others on there. And this case, let me see if I can get it around to show you here. So we've got 2 more USBs at the bottom, a Type-C, and then a headphone mic jack. Yeah, you might have to just grab some, Hayden, if you didn't find any.
Right. Well, you know, these are kind of amazing. Let's be fair. Our other one that's going on right now is Hathor, and Hathor is the PC in a PC. It is a streamer's dream design, and we'll talk a little bit about that in just a few moments. So as far as this motherboard's concerned, it's obviously got four RAM slots. It also has a Radeon Vega series graphics chipset, clearly, because we're using an AMD processor. The other thing that I was interested in is how many M.2s it's got. It's got 3 M.2 socket connectors in there. Are those all for potential NVMe's, or some of those also for the Wi-Fi card?
So one of those is for the Wi-Fi card, and your Wi-Fi M.2 slot is going to be keyed a little differently. It'll look exactly the same if you're just looking at it at the face, but if you try to install like the M.2 storage drive into the Wi-Fi slot, it wouldn't go in, and vice versa.
Gotcha. Okay. Excellent.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah,
Ray
so we
has a
do
question
have an open
for you
slot.
guys. What's your favorite build to do?
My favorite build to do is any of these 011s are good. The ITX ones can be kind of tough to tie up.
I like them in it.
You like them?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then our Fantex Evolve X, I really like that build. Pretty much any RAW we do, we really like. They're all fun, but the RAWs, like, just too much. They're very easy to build in, plenty of space. That's what I like about them.
And, oh yeah, I'll talk about that later. Never mind. Remember that moment where all of a sudden the thoughts just come faster than your actual filter is going, and then all of a sudden you lose it. So, and as far as the air cooling, this is going to be mounted on the top. This build is going to have how many fans in it?
This is going to have 10 fans.
Gotcha.
So we're going to have
Jam-packed.
3 in the top, 3 in the bottom, 3 in the back, and 1 in the rear.
Now, what's the flow pattern for that, so we can kind of understand how this is going to be cooled off?
Yeah, so our main intake is going to be here at the bottom, and then we'll have another intake where you can see my hand coming through here. So we'll have 6 intakes, and then we'll have 3 exhaust up at the top with our radiator, and 1 more exhaust in the rear, right where my hand is here.
Gotcha. I feel like we took away the power tools from Hayden so that he went slower. Is that what happened?
yeah, took the battery out, threw it away.
Don't touch it, Hayden, God! All right. Now, with that being said, the ASRock 570 Gaming 4 ATX hard drive, ATX motherboard does have a support up to 128 gigs of RAM. It's got a gigabyte LAN port and 2 PCIe 16 slots and a PCIe ×1. When we're considering the fact that we're going to be putting in a rather large graphics card, what's that going to do to the availability of the PCIe slots?
Yeah, so with this card, we're at least going to have one of the buy 16s and one of the buy ones open. Cool. The one that's directly under it, it's a few slots lower. We'll have to see when we get the card in here. I think it'll still be usable, though.
Nice.
Alrighty,
this board does come with
got the
8.
board.
Yep, it comes with 8 USB 3.2s in the rear, plus an additional 2 for the front. 4 different fan headers, and it's so far looking great with 8 SATA connectors. So you really got room to expand your hard drives if you would like. But that means also going beyond 2 terabytes.
Yeah, and there is one Hyper M.2 slot open on the board as well. So if you want to add in another M.2, you could do that.
Nice.
I'll start getting your ties off these fans, Hayden.
All right. As you can see, there's a new code for the Hathor giveaway. Make sure you enter that. That is just for Hathor. I did have some people reach out to me saying, hey, this code is not working for Raw. And I'm like, does it say Hathor in front of it? They say, yes. I said, well, that's probably why. Please note that all of our build giveaways will have the appropriate nomenclature for the beginning that is associated with the build itself. The Raw giveaways were all CLX Raw. This is Hathor. And Hathor is kind of an amazing build. If you haven't seen it, we're getting everything put in with the fans. Let's talk about the Hathor build real quick. For those of you who didn't see it, you can check it out now on our YouTube channel, or if you look into our past December broadcasts here on Twitch, you can check that out as we build it in partnership with Intel Gaming. And it's actually quite incredible. It's 2 PCs. The smaller of the 2 is one of those incredible Intel NUCs. This NUC has powered by a Core i7 Intel 12700 processor with 16 gigs of DDR4 -3600 RAM and a Samsung Pro NVMe M.2 terabyte for its operating system drive, and then a Seagate 2 terabyte Barracuda hard disk drive attached to it. Also, I'm sorry, no, that's the other one. It's 1 terabyte NVMe Pro for the Intel NUC, and it's on a 750 watt GT 80 plus gold power supply unit, and of course that's when they partnered up with an Elgato 4K streaming card. That's all on the daughter board, and then on the main board with the rest of your gaming PC, it's an Intel Core i7 13700K. That's an overclocked i7 13700. It's got an Asus Prime Z690M Plus D4 motherboard and an NVIDIA RTX 3080 graphics card. That's going to be ridiculous. You've got a total of 32 gigs of DDR4 3600 Trident Z Neo RGB memory and a terabyte 980 Pro NVMe Samsung hard drive for the operating system. The back end is also going to have a 2 terabyte Barracuda hard drive by Seagate, a Fantex Glacier 1 360 AIO cooling, and it's all built into that beautiful custom Leon Lee All-11 Dynamic XL chassis with 10 different RGB fans by GAMDIAS, and it's all running via an EVGA 850 G580 plus gold power supply unit. Blam! So much numbers, so much wow. And in that amount of time, PC's finished. Oh no, wait, Hayden's almost. I'm gonna keep teasing you about this forever, only because it's impressive. Like, there's nothing wrong with him being an extremely efficient employee. The fact that we have to ask him to slow down is hilarious, and it's not anything we anticipated ever having to do. But yeah, definitely go and check that out. If you check out our YouTube channel, it is CLX Gaming. Please like and subscribe. Turn on the notifications so you know every time a new build comes out. You may see something in there that you like. You may see something in that you have questions about. You can either ask those questions here in chat or right there on our YouTube channel. Look at that. You plug in other things. I'm getting there, slowly but surely. Now, you mentioned something about hooking up antennas, Paul. What do you mean?
Yes. So this board, with it being onboard Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, It obviously needs antennas to do that. Some of the boards that come with onboard will have the antennas pre-installed. Like you can see them coming out as I/O shield. Whereas this one, we had to actually install those ourselves. So there's these tiny little circular connectors that go back onto the M.2 card. They're a pretty big pain to put on, but Hayden makes it look easy, so he just slapped them on there.
It's just like
anybody who's ever installed one of those knows. Yeah.
LGT420 said, slow down, you made the stream over 30 minutes. Literally, it's legit. Post-stream conversations we've had. We're like, oh my God, slow down. I could only talk so
this
fast.
one does have 10 fans, so that is going to add a considerable amount of time. So,
I feel like we're now looking for
that
those that are just going to slow Hayden down.
Yeah, we need to. We need to do 10 fan minimum for Hayden.
So what are you saying about the fan controllers?
Yeah, so let me grab them here. So the fan controllers for these RGB fans, basically every brand of RGB fan is going to have their own controller that they plug into, and then that's controlled via the motherboard or a remote. So these fans, this is the controller box I got in my hand. We've tied two together here just to help us on the install. But you'll see here there's 8 fan connectors around here with a couple LED strips if you were using those. And then we've got an in and an out. So we can only do 8 fans on each controller, but the build has 10 fans. So we're going to do 8 fans on one and 2 on the other, and then we can connect them with a cable, and they'll all work together.
Everything will be synced. All the RGB.
Yeah, everything will sync together. So
nice.
But just adding another box adds a lot of extra wires, so a little bit more on the cable management side.
One thing to point out that I'm thinking is great, because if you take a look at behind you, to your right, Paul, is, for those of you who are wondering, the different types and styles and designs that we can come up with. These are some just the giveaway build. The blue build is the was before. Yeah, that was our original build, and then we've got the Hathor. Yep, we've got the Raw. I'm excited for these things. There's so many different looks. So many different designs. LG420. I had a great, very calm holiday. My parents were snowed in, so my housemate was at work, so I sat down here. I sat in Discord with a bunch of people from my community and watched some of my favorite Christmas movies. We got through 2 of them before I started dinner, because I made really good slow cooked medium boneless ribeyes. But yeah, then we sat in here and watched Scrooged, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, and then, yeah, I went upstairs and had Christmas with my puppies, and the dogs were very, just chill. The ice was outside, and it was fine. I almost slid to my death while barbecuing. It was fun. But ice does not stop the barbecue. That's just the way it is. All right, let's talk about what you're doing, Paul. Putting the plate on.
All right, so
we're already at the hard drive.
So yeah, so I popped off this cover here. This gives me access to our 2 hard drive bays. So I've got the hard drive here. We'll install it in this tray, and it'll just slide in like a regular and click in. So
perfect.
I'll grab screws for this, and we'll do that.
And of course, again, that is a 1 terabyte, 3.5-inch Seagate Barracuda hard disk drive. And just because it's oftentimes, we've obviously got a lot of new people in here. Let's talk about the difference between solid state, hybrid, and hard disk drives.
Yeah, great question. So what I'm working on right now is our hard disk drive, which means there's actual components here. It's also referred to as a mechanical drive, because there's physical platters in there that spin, and that's how it reads the data on it. Whereas the other drives are the solid state drives. And that means just that. They're solid state, they have no moving parts. You can think of them kind of like a giant USB drive. The connectivity is a lot faster, but the speed improvement from using one of those solid state drives is huge. If any of you guys have been around, and back when your operating system was on a mechanical drive and you switched to a solid state, you would go from your computer booting up in minutes to seconds. And now from the 2.5-inch, we have the M.2s that mount on the motherboard with NVMe. And it's crazy fast. You can put games on them, have virtually no loading screens. It's crazy how fast they've become.
It's weird because, like, so over the summer, I had my gaming PC had its solid state drive finally died, but I have it on board. I have a 2 terabyte M.2, and so I had to move everything from that hard drive over, including the operating system, to the M.2, and even going from a solid state to an M.2 NVMe was wildly different. Rainbow Six Siege just loads. It's nuts.
Yeah, it's crazy, and every year they just get faster.
Brett Clips, we're going to do that here in just a little bit. I know it, people know it, but I'm excited to announce it. We're also waiting to see if they're going to be here. So we want to make sure that we congratulate them as well. I'm sure that they will whisper one of us. But let's talk about what you're doing right now, gentlemen.
Installing the fan on the bottom bracket.
Okay, and this is where your intake is coming up from the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yep, so we pulled the tray out. This does have a tray in the bottom, kind of like the XLs does. It's a little bit different, but same concept. We'll take the tray out, we'll mount our 3 intake fans to the tray, and then we'll put that back in all as one piece.
Awesome. Similar to other Leon Lees, this also has 4 feet, which gives it a little breathing room on the bottom of the frame, depending on where you set it. Now, of course, from a professional standpoint, as Paul is going to explain, you want to try and avoid as much as possible of putting it on carpet because of not only static electric discharge, but because of the dirt and air that might come up through it. Paul, how does putting it on carpet affect the performance of the PC, and what is static electric discharge? Why does it matter?
Yeah, so like you mentioned, our case has these feet that gives it a couple inches of breathing room to get some fresh air in. But if you set this down on carpet, you know, computers now are pretty heavy, so they can sink down in that carpet a little bit and close that gap. Now I'm sure there'll still be enough of a gap to get fresh air in there. But you know, if it's sitting directly on carpet, it can suck up pet hair, any dirt, dust, stuff like that that's on there. So if you are in a situation where it's carpeted, like my system's in my basement on carpet, I just cut out a piece of cardboard that's the size of my computer and set it on that. If you got any, like just a thin strip of wood, I know DJ, you said you used tile before. That's a great solution as well.
I use ceramic tile.
Yeah, the ceramic tile is a great option if you got a few of those laying around. And that just makes sure you get clean air in there.
And when I say they're cheap, like you can go get them for, you usually get 4 for $1. If you go to someplace like Reclamation Hardware, I don't know if you guys have any of those there, where they, you know, then they take out old installations and houses that they're refitting. Anything that's still usable, they bring over. You can get 4 pieces of blue square tile and just stick them under the 4 corners of your PC. Super easy, super simple. Zero conductive elements in there for electricity. Those of you asking about who won and when we're going to announce the winner has been contacted. We do know we are going to wait for a moment to talk about that in a little bit later in the show. And, you know, we've got some fun things. I've even given myself voice effects for it so I can announce the winner. Okay, there we go. I've given you a preview, but that's coming.
Just a taste.
Just
a little bit.
All right. Now, as far as the power of this PC, this is a pretty rock solid build. I mean, just looking at it on the CLX webpage, we have the 3D Mark puts this thing at a 13657. Fortnite alone at 440 will run 110 FPS. At 1080, Fortnite will run at 325 FPS with this graphics card. That's impressive.
It is. This 3070 going in is a solid card.
Now, I noticed the 3070 has 8 gigs of DDR6 RAM. What's the big difference between the, say, the 3060, the 70, the 80, and the 90 when it comes to those memory builds?
Yeah,
is it
so
better
you'll
to have
see
more
different
or
memory
less?
across them. Yeah, kind of as you go up the ladder from 60, 70, 80, 90, you'll see some more RAM. Then after the cards have been out for a while, they'll usually release a second version that'll have more RAM. So right now I think there's a 3060 with 8 gigs and 10 gigs, or maybe it's 10 and 12, 8 and 10.
I think it's
and then I think
10.
the 3080 has a 10 gig and a 12 gig version.
Yeah.
So they usually don't have those right when they come out, but you know, after they've been out for a while, they'll release one that's got a little bit more memory. Obviously, the more memory on your card, the better. But you want to look at, you know, the clock speeds and just look at the video card for what games you want to play.
Absolutely. And we had a couple questions in chat. One of them is, how much do these bad boy PCs builds cost to run electricity-wise? This is going to run off of a 750 watt GAMDIAS Kratos M1 80+ bronze unit. So that's 80 watt, potentially up to 750 watts of power. But, you know, that's kind of beyond my expertise. Paul, what does that mean?
Yeah, so getting it down to like how much dollar per day, that obviously just depends on usage. If you're gaming all day, every day, your power supply is going to be putting out a lot more power than if it's just idling or off, obviously. But those power ratings, you can see it right here on the power supply. You'll see this 80+ symbol. It starts out with 80+, just no coloration, it's just white. And then there's 80+ bronze, silver, gold, platinum, and titanium. And that's going to refer to the power efficiency of the power supply. So in order to get an 80+ rating at all, even at just base, it's got to be, the power supply has to be 80% efficient at 3 different loads, which is, you know, 10%, I believe, 50%, and 100%. Might be 20 instead of 10. But either way, it's got to be 80% efficient at those 3 loads, and then as you go up the chain, it's even more efficient. So like this bronze is probably 82% at least efficient at those loads. And really, if you're wondering how much power it's going to cost you to run for a gaming machine, I wouldn't worry about that too much. If you had a mining rig and a ton of cards, that's where you really want to get into the power efficiency and go with like a titanium or a platinum power supply.
LGT mentioned they got to go. Got to get back to work. Thank you so much for coming by. And yes, congrats to the winner. We'll talk about that in a little bit. And you'll definitely see the posts going in. So right now we're doing the eject. I was called the ejection fan. That's not what it is. It's,
yeah, our rear
it's
case fan here.
It's your rear case fan. I don't know where eject came out of. I did watch the new Top Gun. Maybe I was thinking about that.
That's another.
You're technically right.
Yeah. I haven't seen the original Top Gun.
You haven't seen the original Top Gun?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
Never.
Granted,
I have not either.
I don't know if I should.
You should see the original. It's a great homage to all things.
I haven't seen the first one or the
late
newest
80s.
one.
Yeah.
You'll get to see Tom Cruise, you know, a younger Tom Cruise and Val Kilmer, you know, when he was still working. There's a lot of great things in callbacks, but the new one was wild. I will say that. I don't know if I need to watch it again.
The new one was good.
Oh, the new one's great. Don't get me wrong. It's absolutely incredible. But for reference, you definitely need to see the first one because there's a lot of things that are brought up in the second one that are referrals to the first. So a little bit there. The other thing that I went and saw recently was Avatar 2. I did not. I figured we've got a sequel. Let's see how this goes because Avatar 1, in my opinion, was incredible. I went and saw it in IMAX 3D. And Avatar 2 not only blew away the first one, it was extraordinary. Absolutely incredibly brilliant. And so many right turns, like where you just didn't think there was about to be something that would change, and then something else throws in there. It was an incredible watch. DJ BluePDX, will we be seeing the posts for the winners for the PCs? We'll receive an email as well. So the winner has already been notified. So we're going to announce who that is officially. Like I know it's on the website, but you know me, unless I say it out of my mouth, I don't think it's official. It's not true, but it's where I sit on this. We're going to be talking about that here in a bit. Right now, we're going to watch as Hayden continues to be forced to use manual screwdrivers to slow his rate of success down.
Yeah.
So with regards to this case, and it's slightly different design than the other O11 that we regularly see, what are some of the, I would say, what are some of the unique things that you're running into when it comes to differences in how you wire the machine?
Well, the biggest thing is there is these metal pieces that are in my way because it all gets covered up by a back bracket.
Gotcha. Okay.
So everything will be covered up by that, and it'll look really nice.
Gotcha. And again, similar to the other O11 that we use, the larger version, that's also going to be helpful for for airflow when it comes to cooling the device. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah, it will be. So like the other one, with the way our power supply will mount in this, we're going to intake through this side of the case and exhaust out the back. So none of the heat from the power supply is going to make it into the main portion of the case. And that's kind of what this design allows as well. Kind of closes off this compartment here.
There we go.
But really the design is pretty similar. So whereas in the XL, since it has hot swappable bays, we have to plug in our SATA powers and SATA datas from those, even if we're not using them. That way, if a customer has one, they can just slap their drive in and go. So that's a little bit less cables on this, but really these 10 fan cables you see Hayden working with right now, this is the part right here. Once those get managed, it'll go together pretty smooth.
Nice.
And I like that.
And of course,
I like that you're doing it this way, Hayden.
Yeah, I don't know how to do those things because I'm terrible at them. Real quick, our first Horus code has been given out on stream. Take a look. It's Horus-7HVJ. That is 7 Hotel Victor Juliet. I don't know why it was the Navy and me going there. Yeah. It's Nicole. Hello. It's in a cold world. I see what you did there with your name. That's impressive. It's in a cold world. Well done. Welcome to the show. Glad to have you all here. If you were just joining us, the live build show regularly happens every Tuesday at 11 a.m. Pacific. That's 2 p.m. Eastern. One, if you're there in the central area where our current studios are located. We do this every week, and we build PCs, all sorts of PCs. We've got some great PCs coming up, from what I understand, including that one, Paul, that you pulled aside that one graphics card for.
Yeah.
So excited. Now it's all about finding the right cable sleeves. All right.
Yep.
Crow is in the house. Listen, gentlemen, Scarecrow over here is the artist who creates all these wonderful designs that you've been seeing, from those that are on our specialty, our special case site, as well as all the giveaways. He's over there just causing havoc with all those designs, and I say that as a sign of respect. It's truly impressive what he's done. He also made mine, and I'm excited for everybody to see that one, because that's going to be wicked. Lots of fun. I did get somebody asking what is the value of this PC is. This PC is comes in at a $2,472 value on this PC. It's incredible, and with lightning fast speeds too. Again, I'm still impressed with how fast he can go in this. That's wild.
Yeah. Yeah, Hayden's the fastest person I've seen build ever.
So, right, let's talk a little bit about the GAMDIAS Kratos. What kind of power supply is this?
Yeah, so this is a 750 watt, 80 plus bronze. This is a non-modular power supply. So I guess we can get into that a little bit.
Let's talk about that. What kind of different power supplies are there?
Yeah, so you've got non-modular, which is this right here, semi-modular, and then fully modular. So what that refers to is how the cables come with the power supply. So these are already soldered in, so we won't necessarily use all these cables. So if there's any extra, we'll bundle them and tie them up neatly inside the case. A semi-modular would have probably the 24-pin, a single CPU power, maybe a video card cable soldered in, and the rest would not be plugged in. They would come separate, and you would plug them in as needed. And a fully modular is just that. All the cables come separate from the power supply, and you plug those in as needed. We like those designs a lot because it helps your tie-up. It's just a cleaner look usually. You just plug in the cables that you need, and then if you need to add in more later, you just throw in the cable. So.
Zomga Chicken said, can it be used as a heater to heat my home? Yes, possible. Ray J wants to know, what is the best PC and storage on a PC that is good for gaming and streaming?
So
Yeah.
for these type of questions, it's like I would ask what your budget is first, because we could obviously go with a super high-end NVMe M.2 drive, and that would be great. That would be best case scenario, but those can get pretty expensive. So if you're looking to go with a good budget, I would go with a 500 gig or a 1 terabyte M.2 drive that your operating system and maybe the game you're streaming on there, and then you can have all your other software on a storage drive. That's a little bit more of an economical way to do it. But if budget isn't an option, just go out there and get you the craziest Samsung or Seagate drive M.2 NVMe that they've got. I think the biggest I've seen is 4 terabyte, but
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if there was something bigger than that soon.
I will say, just because I'm a full-time content creator and streamer, I will definitely say when it depends on also whether or not you're doing a single or double or dual PC setup. For me, I have a dual PC setup. I have all of my streaming software loaded on an M.2. It's all, and all of the assets are loaded on my hybrid disk drive. I have a 2 terabyte Barracuda hybrid disk drive, plus my 8 terabyte server backup. But I do notice that it is exceedingly fast when it does this, as opposed to my gaming PC, which is just M.2s and solid states. And yeah, 4 terabyte things are just wicked. I think it's called a Firecuda. Because the 4 terabyte Firecuda is their M.2 and it's by Seagate.
Yeah.
Yeah. How many monitors do you prefer in a setup? For me, I currently use 4. I have my main screen here for gaming. I have my portrait here for chat. I have a landscape it's identical to this one that's down below. I use as my production monitor so I can see what's going out to stream and monitor the stream in real time. And then I have my production monitor over here that handles Discord, OBS, GoXLR's software, any other sound software that I have. That's all positioned here on that screen. If that answers your question. How many monitors do you guys have?
I used to have 3, but I'm currently using 2.
What happened to the third one?
Yeah, we don't talk about that.
Okay,
it broke in the moving process.
Oh no.
I've got 3. I usually use 2, but I've had my Switch hooked up to a third one. So I've got that, and then I've got like the Stream Deck to like tie it into my computer, so that's been fun.
Speaking of fun, Ivory did post another Hawthorne giveaway code in the chat. Very, very sneaky. Well done, Ivory.
Ooh.
Sneaking those codes in there for people to try and win it. There's 100 entries per code, and you can use those Hawthorns or for Hawthorne, the Horus, for the brand new PC we're building right now. Scarecrow says, I'm rocking 4 if you include my drawing monitor. Yes. I did see somebody up here asked a question about... Where did I see it about ultra-wides? Who asked it about ultra-wides? I could be wildly inappropriately wrong. Oh, yeah, there we go. Anyone at CLX use ultra-wides? That was the zombie chicken. Got it.
So I haven't used one in my personal system, but we had a Smash tournament a while back here, Super Smash Bros.
Yep.
And someone brought in their own ultra-wide curved, and it was pretty cool, not gonna lie.
It was like 40
It was
inches.
really good.
Crazy.
It was huge. We had one of our big like U-line carts, and it took up the whole thing.
Oh, God.
So that was fun.
Silent J mentions using a 55-inch TV. It's funny because this room that is now my gaming, that's not the broadcast studio, used to be our rumpus room in our house. It's downstairs. It's an enclosed area. And so we had a 55-inch TV up against the wall, and I would sit against that wall. And so from that distance, it became the same size, peripherally as this monitor, which is sitting right there. But it was 55-inch TV, and everybody was like, how do you game on that? I game fine on it. It gets 60 FPS. They went, dude, you need to get good.
60 FPS.
And then I jumped to 144 and about fell over about the difference. It was wild. But, I also remember gaming on the original PlayStation and Xbox where, you were lucky if you got a full 60. Like you were lucky 30. You got 30.
Yeah, that's right. I made the switch to a 2K 144 hertz pretty late in the game, too. And I mean, it was kind of cool because when you do it, you're like, oh, this is amazing. You know, you get used to the
so
60
wild.
frames, and then
I'm still on 1080p,
yeah,
but my hertz is 165.
165.
There you
nice.
go. You're rocking a solid
What was most
165,
shocking to
man.
me
Keep it.
was like when you're moving the mouse on your desktop, like you would just notice it there.
Yeah, you can
like, not
feel
even gaming, just
the
sliding your
difference.
mouse over. You can see the difference.
GStat says, I use two LG Ultra Gear 24-inch monitors at 144. Very happy with them. That's awesome. I always forget that LG makes monitors. I know that's dumb to say. I should be more aware, but I like, you say monitors, and the first things that come to my mind is usually like Samsung and I just blanked the other one. BenQ. There we go. Samsung and BenQ.
yeah.
'Cause those are the ones I usually go with. ViewSonic is another great one. When you get my age, things just start slipping.
Yeah, my main
Here we go.
monitor is like a really nice ASUS one, and then my secondary
Yeah.
monitor at home is like the Square Dell from 2005. It's
My
just, like,
secondary is a
Discord and stuff.
little overkill.
Yeah.
It's a curved. I have it in portrait.
Oh, nice. Oh, okay, okay.
Ray J mentioned something interesting. For a beginner PC user, what would you suggest they could use if their budget is $2,500? And I'll be honest, Ray J, this PC that we're building right now comes in under the $2,500 mark.
Yeah, this PC would be amazing. I mean, you could make a few adjustments on it here. You know, if you wanted more storage or something like that, but this is pretty maxed out. I mean, you could obviously go with a bigger storage drive or another one or a bigger M.2 drive, but this is a solid config. If you've got a budget of $2,500, you can get a really solid PC.
Yeah, absolutely. And to be honest, like, our website is amazingly easy. We'll talk about that in just a few. Right now, you can see that Hayden just put in that RTX 3070 graphics card. Now, is this going to require any type of a stabilizer, or is the main board going to be capable of handling that?
Yeah, so this one won't. But when we ship it, though, we'll obviously put foam in it to hold it during shipping. But this card is small enough and doesn't have enough weight to really justify having a brace in there. Like I said, it'll ship with the foam in to hold it secure, but just sitting here, you know, you're not going to notice any GPU sag or anything like that.
Nice. As we're getting those cables in now, it's just a matter of tying everything into the back for the power supply. That cable management is so essential. It definitely helps out with all of the airflow. How can cable management help assist in more thorough airflow in your system?
Yeah, so a better cable management system is going to let smoother air go through. I mean, if you had a brick of cables, just imagine trying to like blow air through your hand and then like separate your fingers and more air will come through. So you want as little obstruction as possible for smooth airflow to go over all the components and come out. And so that's why you want a clean tie-up and a cable managed properly. It's like with this case, you can barely see any cables in the front. It's all in the back here, all separate from the machine, which is really nice.
That's incredible. I know several of you have said it, and I will definitely agree. It is a whole new year, and welcome to 2023. Happy New Year to all of you. One of the things that we love doing is giving a chance for our video editor, Jason, who's in production right now, running this entire stream, the chance to kind of go over all the things that CLX has done, from PAX to TwitchCon to Comic-Con. We've been kind of everywhere all year long. Right now, let's take a look at some of the places we've been. PC build today. First time we saw this was, I believe, at TwitchCon.
That was where we first showed it, thanks to Intel.
Thanks to Intel, I'd say it's thanks to you guys, right? Our guy Koi in our lab had this crazy idea to do this, and you guys just helped make this happen. And we, between this one and a second version that we had, we really showcased, I think, the speed of innovation within this industry.
Absolutely amazing. And of course, you got a chance to see the Hathor build and what's going into it. I'm not gonna lie, I got a little panicked for a second because I saw you two in the same shirts and I realized, oh my god, did we go back early? No, it was part of the video package. Jason's that good.
The same thought.
Right, we're like, oh, are we live? Oh my god. Let's right now definitely want to talk about this. So as you know, we've announced our CLX Raw winner. They have been notified, and let's take a look one more time as to what's going into the PC that was won this last weekend. So this is an Intel. So this giveaway has an Intel Core i7-13700KF processor on a MSI Mag Z690 Tomahawk Wi-Fi motherboard with DDR4 memory. It's got a total of 32 gigs of DDR4-3600 and an NVIDIA GeForce RTX 3060 12 gig graphics card. The operating system is going to be loaded on a 1 terabyte Kingston M.2 NVMe solid state drive, and of course have a 2 terabyte 3.5-inch Seagate Barracuda hard disk drive in the back for more storage. It's going to be cooled by a Fantex Glacier 1 AIO liquid cooler, and it's all going into that full tower 011 DXL by Leon Lee. 10 GAMDIAS AEOLUS fans are going to cool that down, and it's all going to be running on a 750 watt GAMDIAS Kratos M1 80+ bronze RGB power supply. So to announce that our winner is, you can find her on Twitter and on Twitch. It is Ray Ray Gumi-chan, or Ray Ray the Carrot on Twitter. Sorry, Ray Ray, congratulations on winning that. Absolutely incredible. If you have not followed her, it's Ray Ray the Carrot on Twitter again, and her Twitch channel is Ray Ray Gumi-chan. So check it out. Congratulations, there you go. Now, we did have a question earlier about the fact that, you know, looking at what $2,500 will get. Well, let's take a look at what that can get you on our website and how to use it. At CLXgaming.com, we make it as easy as possible for everybody, whether you're an expert or not at technology, to ensure that you get the build that makes the right sense for you. Whether you're an artist, graphic designer, movie editor, sound editor, whether you're a gamer or a streamer, all of your options are right here. We also built out a foolproof way to ensure that if you're going to be selecting and building your own system, that you don't have to worry about getting pieces or parts that are in conflict. Whether you're choosing the right or wrong motherboard with the right processor, it's going to tell you whether or not there's a problem and give you the solutions to make sure that you get the best system that's going to be working for you. If you're not really interested in building your own, don't worry. We have pre-built, ready-to-ship units right here in many different sizes, including laptops. So whether you're looking for a PC, looking to get your second PC, or looking to upgrade your current setup, head on over to CLXgaming.com and find out how you can step up your game right now. Bam! I did it. I did the thing. Okay. Congratulations, Ray Ray. Oh, Ray Ray's in chat. Congratulations. There she is. Hello, Ray Ray. Welcome to the show. Glad to have you. Yeah, it's going to be so good. So, yes, congratulations. I was trying not to say anything until we got to that portion of the show. You've got an incredible PC inbound. It's that beautiful gold one right behind the boys over there on the left-hand side of the screen. Right there. Lots of fun. Lots of fun. So, yeah, it's the first time we've had a winner in the chat. So, congratulations. Much love, and we appreciate it. Again, you can follow Ray Ray at Ray Ray the Carrot on Twitter. You can also check out her Twitch at Ray Ray Gumi-chan. You can see right there. Just click on it and hit that follow button. Smash it up, people. Yeah. As you can see, there were other codes given out a little bit ago, which is awesome. Make sure that you get all that info. All those codes matter. There are 100 entries per code. I know that for the, I believe for the Horus that we're giving away, that we're building right now, I have 500 codes to give out over the next 4 weeks. on my Twitch channel, so make sure you're popping over there for more of those, plus paying attention to all of our socials, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. We got all sorts of things. Wow. And of course, all I had to do was go into the camera's not on Hayden, and Hayden was like, it's done.
Yeah.
He's over here like, I'm trying not to be embarrassed, but at the same time, stop talking about my speed, dude. Stop being fast. Older people are, you know, feeling bad about themselves now. Just kidding. Look at that. Absolutely gorgeous. I'm loving. So all the sides are designed. They're all colored.
Yeah, every one of them is
Look
designed. This looks so good.
One of my
Kyle, you did an
favorites.
amazing job.
This is great.
Good grief. Bro just rocked it.
Alrighty,
I love
well,
it.
we're about to the moment of truth, so
Let's see.
Jason,
Let's
let
see
us
what it
know
looks like.
if we get it lined up good for the shot. We'll make sure we got everything here. A little bit rotated this way.
Perfect.
Cool.
That's a beautiful design. It truly, truly is. All right.
All right, so
If you're ready, let's do
we
it.
ready? All right. Let her rip, hey.
Whew! Look at that. That's gorgeous. Green lights on green. You can change that to whatever, but that is incredible, especially if you have a chroma key. That's going to be wild. Wild in the back. Let's see what those colors can do when you get those remotes
I'm gonna
going.
change them a little bit. I'm gonna try to keep the emote away from our sign because last stream I changed all the lights in here with the remote. So there we go.
That's still hilarious. Look at that.
So there we go.
Absolutely brilliant. Let's once again cover everything in this giveaway build for CLX Horus. This is going to be powered by an AMD Ryzen 9 5900X 12-core processor installed on an X570 ASRock Phantom Gaming 4 motherboard. It's got a total of 32 gigs of DDR4-3600 RAM by G.SKILL, and it's going to have a GeForce RTX 3070 8-gig graphics card in it. The operating system is installed on a 1 terabyte Kingston NV2 M.2 NVMe and a 1 terabyte 3.5-inch Seagate Barracuda on the back end. It's going to be cooled down by a CLX Quench 360 closed liquid cooler on top of the 10? Yeah, the 10 GAMDIAS fans that we have installed with it. Power is coming from a 750-watt GAMDIAS Kratos M180 plus bronze RGB, and it's all installed on that Evo mid-build Horus 011 by Leon Lee. Absolutely incredible build. This is going to be great. This giveaway goes to the end of the month. It'll be ending at midnight on January 31st, and of course, we'll do our best to get in touch with that winner to make sure that we get it to you before we announce it on stream. So, definitely get your entries in right now. If you haven't had a chance, visit the links. All you got to do is follow all the different options. We'll get to it. So other than that, next week we anticipate being back at our regular time slot on Tuesdays at 11 a.m. Pacific. That's 2 Eastern. 1 if you're in the Central Time Zone. And then it's going to be right here on twitch.tv/CLX Gaming TV. Make sure you follow all of our socials for the latest and greatest and all things happening with CLX at CLX Gaming at YouTube, over on Twitter, and of course on TikTok. Gentlemen, final thoughts.
I think it turned out really well.
Yeah, good luck to everyone. Congrats, Ray Ray, on winning the other one.
Guys.
So yeah, we're excited to be here.
On behalf of Jason in production and, of course, Paul and Hayden, I'm your host, DJ BluePDX, and we'll see you next time right here on Twitch. Bye.
No more running, no more running, no more chasing. No more running now, I'm running out of patience. Caught up in confusion, need a resolution. Can we find a way back, way back? Can we could both make fun of distance. Lucky that I love a foreign land for the lucky fact of your existence. Baby,